Tony Sabilla back here on PSR Talks, and my guest today is a member of the baseball team on Notre Dame Green Pond. It's JakeYurkovitch. Jake, thanks for taking your time today to talk to us a little bit. First, we always like to ask our guest, how have you and your family been doing during this lockdown? What's been the most difficult thing having to stay home with your family all the time?
Yeah, it's been really hard. I mean, in the beginning, my sister actually works in the ICU at Anderson campus. So it was really hard. I mean, to not be around. We're huge family oriented people. I mean, every Sunday we have Sunday dinner with all the cousins, even. And to not be able to do that, it was just very hard. Then with the weather getting nice, we've actually been trying to get out to my uncle's pool a little bit and starting to get the gatherings back opening up. But it was really hard in the beginning.
We spoke back in March when this all started going down, and uh, we first contacted because I saw your tweets, one of your tweets early on. You really talked about your disappointment with what might happen with the spring season and sports being in jeopardy. Let's go back to that time when it all first started happening in March. You talked about the preseason games you were playing, and you were beginning to get some sense of what might happen. What was your initial reaction? Let's talk about that again. When you first learned that the season was going to be suspended.
So it kind of hit me when we were down in Florida. We were playing our second game, and coach gathered us before the game and said, "Look, I want you to leave everything out on the field because you honestly might never play in a Notre Dame uniform again."
Right.
And that was just like heartbreaking for everyone. I mean, Notre Dame baseball is like no other in the Lehigh Valley, and I'll say that proudly. I mean, it's just one that will I don't even know what to say. Like it was just hard. I get choked up just talking about it, and it's just an unreal moment to think about.
At the time, how much hope did you and your teammates have of having the season happen, even if it was for a short schedule? Were you guys pretty trying to be hopeful about a season still occurring?
Yeah, I mean, we are very sound, fundamental kids. I mean, just because the season wasn't over and we couldn't practice doesn't mean that we couldn't get our repetition in. I mean, every day, I know a lot of guys that were getting together. If they were neighbors, they were throwing a bullpen or they were working together trying to stay safe at the same time. I mean, I know a lot of guys were hitting off tees, going to local parks, finding batting cages, and guys just wanted to stay active and stay fit. I know a lot of guys going out for runs, putting in extra work, and coach would make sure he contacted us as senior captains, not captains, but as a senior, and just being like, "Look, you're a leader here. Make sure guys are still putting in work because we still might have a season." And that was just huge for us. And the grind never stops, even though kind of the world stopped.
Right. Uh, you've spoken a few times on social media, as we mentioned, about the loss that a player as a senior feels right now, knowing that their final season of play just wasn't going to happen. What's been the feeling of other seniors that you've spoken to on your team? Maybe other seniors that you know who were playing, who were going to play lacrosse, who were going to do cross country. Have you gotten a chance to talk to other seniors in the school about what was going on?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. One of my best friends in Notre Dame is Thomas Kitchell. I mean, a huge track and field athlete, was going to have another probably state run, probably hopefully come home with another gold state medal. And he doesn't get to do that this year. So it's terribly heartbreaking. And then another one is Andrew Cernigula, a wrestler. He was so thankful that he got his last run in because he don't know what he would have done if he didn't get that opportunity. You know what I mean? So he it hurts for him to look at. I mean, me, him, and Tommy are really good friends. So for him to look at Tommy and I, and he's just like, I'm so thankful that I got the opportunity to compete in my last high school season. And it goes for all seniors. I mean, every senior that got to play their final season is so grateful.
Right.
But then the ones who didn't get it are just completely heartbroken. I mean, I'm fortunate enough I played basketball too, so I got some of that excitement. I mean, there's
Right.
not much I could ask for in the basketball season, and I just got one last run as a senior in basketball. So
Uh, Now you've already committed to Northampton College starting this fall, so you have a solid direction for your college career moving forward. Uh, do you think missing your senior year will affect how your college career will start? Meaning, uh, y- you know, a disappointment of how your senior season finished with no baseball. Uh, do you think it's going to affect how you start college? Will you be able to just say, okay, here's a new start. Let's put that behind me. Are you going to be able to do that when college comes? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was kind of the same way last year when you lose in the state final coming into this season. It was like, are we going to be able to put that behind us and put the work that we need to put in this year? And I almost feel like that's the same thing. Losing the state final is almost like losing your whole season this year. I mean, it's heartbreaking. Like it really hurts. But you got to be able to put it in the past and look at this year and the year coming forward. And I mean, Coach Yaguez at Northampton has done a great job communicating with the incoming freshmen, making us feel welcome. Then, I mean, we have a group chat already with the whole team. There's not much you can ask for there. I mean, we haven't met each other yet. We haven't done anything, but we've all communicated like social media and all that. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity over at NAC, and I can't wait to get into it.
Let's talk a little bit about the team that was expected at Notre Dame in 2020. You guys with the Colonial League Championship just recently, and I have to think you and your teammates thought your chances of getting back there were pretty good. What were the expectations of the team this coming season?
Expectations are never falling short at Notre Dame in anything you do. I mean, if you're in the classroom, your expectation is way beyond any others. And I mean, I think that really goes to Notre Dame baseball in this upcoming year. I mean, we lost some big time players: Ryan Gibke, Stephen Luke, Nick Vanelli, guys who Ben Gormley, guys who have played for multiple years in the varsity level. But again, last year with younger guys, those were the guys that were like, look, this is what you have to do. This is the way it has to be. And they wanted guys to do the same thing that we did last year. And I think a lot of people doubted us last year when we came in, and a lot of people are going to doubt us again this year. But we have tough nosed kids, and they just want to put their nose in the dirt and get the job done.
And what were your own personal expectations and goals? What were you looking to accomplish this senior year?
My expectations, I'm 100% a team player, and I would do anything in the world for that team to have the opportunity that I had last year. If coach had to take me out of the lineup and sit me on the bench in order to get to where we were last year to give those guys an opportunity and to get that experience, 100% I'd be like, do it. I mean, those were my expectations, and I wanted to do the best thing I could do to make that team better. And I wanted to try to give those younger guys the experience that I got as a junior.
Now we have a tournament coming up in August that your own coach Mike Bettis played a big part in helping to organize. What was your first thought when you heard about this possibility that hey, we might get a chance to play again in August as Notre Dame Green Pond one more time?
So that was actually like very emotional moment because at the time it was a couple days after I talked to you, I believe, or talked to I don't know. I had an interview with someone and I was very
Huh.
upset about it and I was just having a hard day. And I was talking to Dan Villani actually. He was one of my travel guys, and he said, "Don't hang your head yet. Something's gonna happen." And I got that, and I was like, it was uplifting. It was just like I got one more ride with this group of guys, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna leave everything we have out there, and we're gonna get the job done again. So that was just my first initial reaction.
Right. When what are you and your teammates looking to do this tournament? Is this a chance for you guys to try and prove that you really did have a big team, or do you just want to see what it could have been? Is it about trying to prove something, or is it just hey, I'm just happy to see what we could have been as a team? You saw a little bit of it in preseason, but now maybe it's more of a chance for you to get that. What are you looking to get out of this tournament?
No, definitely. Like as a leader, I want to have the chance to win and push those guys to win. I just don't want to go there and see where we would have done. I mean, we're getting a chance. Let's say we're playing pool play. That's our Colonial League championship right there. If we win our pool, we win the Colonial League championship. and then we'll play the rest of the tournament as state playoffs, right? You got to put yourself in a scenario, and that's what I'll try to do for these guys. Like, play this as if it's your Colonial League final, and we're gonna go out and we're gonna try to win it. We're not just gonna try to go and see how we do. But I 100% believe that the guys that we have will have the same mentality, and they're gonna want to win.
When this tournament is over, certainly that's going to really mark pretty much the end of the team that you are playing with at Notre Dame, and a lot of those same guys. Do you think, not just you, but do you think for the entire team it's going to be an emotional day when that final game is played?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll even go from my past experiences. Even though we played a regular season last year, and I got to play with some of those guys for multiple years, it's going to be the same way for these guys. I mean, they look up to us seniors as leaders, and we try to compare our team to a family. So if I had to compare myself as a family member, I feel like I'd be kind of like a grandfather. And if I lost my grandfather, I'd be kind of upset. I know it's kind of a weird analogy, but looking back, when we lost that state final, I was not upset. I mean, I was very upset that I lost that game, but I was more upset that I'll never get to play with some of those kids again. And that's like kind of losing your grandfather in that kind of situation. So I kind of look at it that way, and it's kind of heartbreaking at the same time, but it's not like it's over forever. I mean, you have friendships and you'll get back together, but I'll be the same way. I'll really miss playing with those guys, and it's just gonna be hard.
All right. Hey, as we wrap this up, I want to take a little bit of time to talk about the Notre Dame Green Pond family. You know, I've had a pleasure of getting to know a lot of these people in the past year. With athletic director Amy Rogers, and I got involved with getting to know the football team and Phil Stambaugh, the head coach over there. Of course, you know the basketball coaches pretty well. I've gotten to know Josh Kopp
Mhm.
pretty well this past year, and then recently just getting a chance to know Mike Bettis and his and how he approaches life as a head coach at Notre Dame. And one thing that's really struck me is they show a lot of compassion and concern for all the students for sure, but those folks that I mentioned, they really seem to really put a lot of care into the student athletes that play for them. Uh, I'd like you to sum up your career at Notre Dame and and the people and the students. What have they meant to you in your time at this school?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the community at Notre Dame is, I'll say it again, like no other. I mean, you have big schools like Easton, Freedom, thousands of kids. We're a small little school, but I feel like we have more compassion in anything than those bigger schools. I mean, if I'm playing an away basketball game and Coach Josh Kopp walks in the door, he's going, Jake, leave it all out there, have a good game tonight. And that's huge. I mean, and we're the same way. If the boys team and the girls team are right there, when the girls team's leaving for an away game, look, good luck, go win it. Right? It doesn't matter who you're playing, who's in front of you. And one of the things that always stood out to me was last year we played in a district final at Coca-Cola in the middle of the school day. We're like, all right, we might get a couple kids here and there, but I doubt. We show up to the game. Next thing you know, we're warming up. We're in the tunnel, taking batting practice. We come out. There's 150 kids to 200 kids sitting there in the stands. They all signed themselves out of school because they wanted to be there to support us. End of the school year, they're not doing much. So instead of sitting there just goofing off, they wanted to be there to support us. And I feel like that is just amazing. And you can't ask for anything else. And then to have a season like you had and all beginning of this year, people are asking, how's the baseball team going to be? How's the baseball team going to be? It wasn't, oh, I'm sorry about last year. They wanted to know what was going to happen this year. They were excited to see what was going to happen this year. So I think the community and the family aspect at Notre Dame is just unlike no other, and I couldn't be more thankful for anyone else. I know Miss Rogers; she does a wonderful job. Try to help all the sports team out the best she can, and again, all the coaches, all the fans, all the student athletes, all the students couldn't ask for better support.
Do you one more question? Do you have any specific memory that really stands out to you as you're winding down your career at Notre Dame? Any specific memory that stands out in your time as an athlete there that will stay with you forever?
Mm. Uh, it's hard. I would just have to say last season in general. I mean, when you're struggling 7-5 and you don't have like a lot of fans there, but then you walk into school the next day, they're like, "Hey, tough loss." Like they know what was going on, and I feel like I'll forever be thankful for the opportunity that I had last year when people weren't on their games in the beginning of the season, but they kept up with it, and then they saw like, wow, they won 8 games straight. Let's go. So a couple kids would show up to a game. Then we win 12 games straight. Next, 150 people are there at the district final. And that is just a memory that will always stick out to me. And of course, the bus ride with my teammates out to Penn State, and even the bus ride home. We lost. We lose the state final, and I mean, yeah, we were all upset. We were sitting there in the beginning, kind of hanging our heads. But at the kind of last 2 hours of the ride home, it was like we just won the World Cup or something. I mean, we were having a great time. We were just happy to be alive and happy to be with each other and happy to have the opportunity to go out and play in the state final. So the state final and last year's run will always be a memory that will stick out to me.
Well, Jake, thanks for taking the time with us today. Best of luck in this tournament this summer. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk to you then after a game, and good luck with your college career at Northampton. We appreciate your time, and we enjoyed watching you play this year, and we'll get to see a little bit of your baseball talent coming up in August.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the support.
That's JakeYurkovitch. This is PSR Talks. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you later.